this little Transit is a proper little pocket rocket. It's over 180 brake, and it's like a little go-kart. Hey everybody, it's me, Stefan. Welcome back to today's video. We've got a lot going on today, so let's show you what we're getting on with. So today we are working in the engine bay of the Transit RS Custom. We've got to get down to change the glow plugs. We've got two problems with those. So the glow plugs are hidden right down in the engine bay here. To get down to them, we've got to take off all the airbox, all the intake pipes, then we have to go down and take off the intake manifold as well. So let's get going. So to get the airbox off, just have to pop the little clip off the top here, and then there's two spring clips on the front and two spring clips on the side. Then to remove the air pipe, we need a 7mm socket, or you can use a flat-headed screwdriver to just loosen off the Jubilee clip. Once that's done, we can remove the top of the air pipe from the airbox. So then we're going to undo those spring clips that I said about earlier on. So like I say, there's two on the front and two on the sides. As soon as those two are undone, you can lift the top of the airbox off. It just kind of hooks on the back. Then we need a T30 Torx bolt to just undo the snorkel on the left hand side. I call it the snorkel, that might not be what its proper name is, but we need to undo that so that we can take that out, remove that from the airbox, and give us the room we need to wiggle the airbox out. So then to get the rest of the airbox out, they're just on rubber push clips on the front, so you can slide them forward and pull them out, and then there's like a rubber C-clip on the back again that just pulls straight out. Then we can take out the snorkel that we spoke about earlier on, and once we've done that, we can remove the engine cap off the top of the engine, take off the rubber cover. So just remember, when pulling this rubber cover off, there is a water pipe that goes through the back of it, so just make sure you pop that out of the back first. So just to try and show you why you've got to take the air intake off, you can see down here that you can't quite see them, the glow plugs sit just behind the back of the air intake. If Ford had dropped them down, put like a little dip in there or something, you'd have been able to get all the glow plugs out nice and easily. So now we need to start on unplugging all the loom, just to get as much out of the way as possible. Now I only unplug two plugs here, but what I'd recommend is unplugging everything possible to give yourself as much room. I don't know why I didn't in the first place. I ended up taking it all off in the end anyway. I also removed the dipstick holder, which is an 8mm hex nut, just to give myself a little bit more room as well. So you need a really skinny T30 Torx head to get down here, and when I say really skinny, I mean really skinny. There's not much room at all, but you undo those T30s and then the EGR valve will pull straight out in two pieces. You only need to take the top piece out. So now we're on to the intake manifold. So this is 10mm. You're going to be better off getting a flexing angle socket, because it can be a bit of a nightmare. So I think it's 10mm. There was 6 across the top and 4 across the bottom, I believe. I may be wrong though. It was a couple of days ago that I did the video.
This is becoming a bit of a nightmare job, to be fair. To get the air intake off, you've got to get the bolts that are underneath. You can't see the bolts that are underneath, which means I've got to try and fish them and find them with this. And they're long old bloody threads. I've had to make quite a bit of a contraption to get in here. See that? It'd be much easier if I had an electric socket.
So we've now got that air intake off. We can just drop that down a little bit. We can then move on to taking off the power supply for the glow plugs. So these are just on 7mm nuts on top of each one of the glow plugs. So we can just crank them off and then remove that power supply.
So that's now the power supply out for all the glow plugs, and I don't know if you can see there, but they've made the nuts captive, which is nice because it means they don't fall into where the air intake feeds. So one job done, on to the next.
So we can now start taking out the glow plugs. They are just on 10mm hex nuts. They can be quite stiff, so be careful, get some penetrating fluid on them if they're stiff. And if there's a lot of carbon build up, you sometimes have to keep screwing and screwing and screwing to get them to pull out.
There you go, so glow plug number 1 out. If I'm honest, it doesn't look like there's that much carbon build up on it, so I'm guessing it's been changed pretty recently by the looks of how clean it is, but it was 3 and 4 that it said had the problem, so I'm going to take out all of them and put 4 brand new ones in, because there's no point mucking about with it. So just so you guys can see, old glow plug, put it against there, you see the carbon build up, whereas this one's not got any on it. So like I say, I don't think these are all that old. I'm trying to see, I don't know, because so obviously I've bought Bosch ones, these have got Bosch on, but just trying to read who these are. Beru. So maybe the reason I've got a problem is because they're just cheap glow plugs. But so for tonight, because it's getting dark now, I'm just going to try and crank off the other 3 glow plugs, make sure that they spin out. If they spin out, great. If they don't, then I'll put some penetrating fluid on there tonight, and then I'll see you again in the morning. So day 2 back on the transit. So yeah, it got a bit dark last night, so finish it off today. So what we did, I cracked off the all of the glow plugs yesterday. I actually changed number 4, so number 1 and number 4 are done. So we've got number 2 and 3 left to do. We'll get them off, or get them out, get the new glow plugs in, and then we'll start putting this back together. New air filter, new oil filter, oil change, and then we'll go from there. So these are the 2 that I had the problem with. And you can see that this one here, it's kind of got like an orange burn on it, so I don't know if that's good, bad, but there's not massive carbon build up on either of them, so we'll get them replaced anyway, and then we'll start putting them back together, check it starts. So just putting the glow plugs back in, just make sure when you go back into the holes that you make sure there's no debris or anything that you can push in there, because you don't want that going inside the engine. So just pop these in, get them cranked up, and then we'll move on to the next step. So back onto the power supply now for the glow plugs. So if you get them roughly in place and just give them a push onto the back of the glow plug, they do kind of catch themselves, and then you can just do them up with a 7mm socket. So back onto fitting the inlet manifold. I start in the middle and just work my way out, just to try and make sure that it stays nice and flat and there's no air gaps. So I do the middle one, then the 2 outsides, and then the 2 outsides on the bottom, and then back up to the top. Well, so if I'm correct now, it's plug everything back in and then get the engine cover back on and start putting the air intake back on. So let's go. So all this step is basically the steps that we did at the beginning of the video, just in reverse order. So I'm just going to fly through these now, and like you can see, I've unplugged the whole loom here. I did end up taking much more out because it made it so much easier. So now we've got that airbox back in, we're going to put a brand new air filter in there, just as part of the service. Right guys, this is the moment. I don't know if I'm excited, nervous, scared. All I can say is fingers crossed that this starts. So I've never done anything inside the engine in this depth before. Alright, so glow plug light's gone off. here we go. All right, she starts. So that's good news. That's great news. So the next thing I need to do now is connect the Carly. It's idling nicely as well. Before it was idling a bit lumpy when I first started. So I need to connect the Carly and check to see if I can clear the error code for the glow plugs. Hopefully that's fixed it. So okay, so I'm going to screen record this so I can put it over the top of the video. So obviously it's going to find the codes we had before. I'm doing a scan. What we'll do once the scan's done is I'll clear all the codes, reset them, and then recheck and see if they come back. So it's found 7 issues so far and it's 65% of the way through. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Glow plug circuit 1 open and glow plug circuit 3 open. So they're the two that I knew I had problems with beforehand. So let's go through and clear the issues. What else we got? Invalid data from BCM, steering wheel position sensor, okay, body control module, brake lining wear sensor. These are all old codes, so we're going to clear them. We'll see what comes back. Right, they're all cleared. Let's check again. Well, we're at 45% and so far no issues have come back, so 52, 57, let's keep going and hopefully we finish with no issues. That'd be great, wouldn't it? I don't imagine we will. I imagine there'll still be a couple, but if we can get those glow plug ones to go, that'd be really good. Bang in! 89%, come on, we're nearly there. 94, 100%, diagnosis complete. And you know what? Health state is good, no issues. Come on! Right, I'm going to take her for a little drive, give her a little run around, and see where we go from there. Come on! So that's another thing that's ticked off the list there, guys. Literally one more bit on the RS Transit, and then she's up for sale as well. We're going to take her for a run now. She's not had a proper run out for a few days, so we're going to probably drive 20 or so miles, just give her a loop. Early on next week, because I'm still off for a few days, I'm going to do a service on her. You've all seen a service before, it's not that interesting, so I won't put that in the video, I won't bore you with that. That's it. Then I can get onto the back door, get that sorted, get that finished, and that's it. She'll be going as well. So literally everything's going. The ST should be coming up in a couple of weeks. I've just got to, I need to get rid of either the Transit or the Golf. One of the two needs to go because I need the space. I've got nowhere to keep it. So yeah, that's it. And just so everyone knows, this little Transit is a proper little pocket rocket. It's over 180 brake, and it's like a little go-kart. It's great. So you know, whoever the next owner is, I hope you absolutely love it, because I do, and it's a shame to get rid of it, but need must. So.
Right guys, we're back next week on the Transit. We're going to fix this door. We've got a little bit to fix on the Golf, but that is it for this week. Thank you for watching. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and we'll see you next Thursday at 6 PM. Bye bye.